It is a synthetic, non-depolarizing muscle relaxant, which is having rapid onset of action and intermittent duration of action, and it is a replacement for depolarizing muscle relaxants such as dexamethasone. Structure: it is an aminosteroid structurally similar to Rocuronium, 6 times less potent than Rocuronium, and it is positively charged with a relatively larger molecule. Preparations available as colorless solution in 10 milligram per ml in 5 ml and 10 ml vial. It should be stored 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Do not be freezed, and it is an intravenous drug. Mechanism of action: Rocuronium acts as a competitive inhibitor of acetylcholine by binding to alpha subunits of nicotinic acetylcholine receptors. Pharmacokinetics: that it is a 30% protein bound, do not cross placenta and blood-brain barrier, no active metabolite, eliminated primarily by liver in liver 70% and in urine as 10%. Longer duration of action is seen in hepatobiliary disease. Uses of Rocuronium: facilitates both emergency and elective ventilation, provides optimal surgical condition, defasciculating dose when using depolarizing muscle relaxant for muscle paralysis, and to prevent shivering in post-cardiac resuscitation after return of spontaneous circulation during therapeutic hypothermia. Doses of Rocuronium: for elective intubation, dose is 0.6 mg per kg. For rapid emergency intubation, dose is 0.9 to 1.2 mg per kg. And for maintenance dose, 0.1 mg per kg. And for infusion dose, 9 to 12 mics per kg per minute. In larger dose regimen for rapid sequence intubation, intubating condition occurs in 55 seconds and the duration of action is also doubled for Rocuronium. Adverse reaction: fatal anaphylactic reactions are reported in some cases, vagolytic actions with very high doses. Reversal of Rocuronium: Sugamadex, which is a modified gamma cyclodextrin molecule, which encapsulates Rocuronium with its hydrophobic core. Dose of Sugamadex 4 mg per kg IV for regular. In case of rescue reversal during can't intubate, can't ventilate condition, it is 16 mg per kg IV, sir. So that's all.
Okay. What about the other dosages? What is 16 mg for
Per kg IV, sir.
No, that is for immediate reversal if you administer it for intubation and can't intubate. But what about after about 25 minutes of administration, when there is partial recovery, after 1 hour of administration, when 4 twitches appear in the brain of 4, is there any difference in the dosage there?
Sir, 2 mg per kg IV, sir.
That is when all the 4 stimuli, contractions are present in TOF. What about just 2 switches? So 16, 4 and 2, that is the dosage. 16 for immediate reversal. 4 mg per kg if there is only 2 twitches of train of 4. If all the 4 twitches of train of 4 are present, just 2 milligram per kg is enough. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Right. Now I just want to ask you one question. You said it has to occupy the alpha subunits of the nicotinic acetylcholine receptors at the neuromuscular junction to produce its effect. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Should it occupy both the receptors, or both the subunits, or only one subunit is enough?
Both the subunits, sir.
It has to occupy both the subunits. What mechanism? How do they get attracted to that alpha subunit? Because that nicotinic receptors, all of you know the structure. It has got 2 alpha, 1 beta, and in an adult 1 delta subunit, isn't it? Yes, so there are totally, it's a pentameric protein. It has got 5 subunits: 2 alpha, 1 beta, 1 gamma, 1 delta. So totally 5. Of this, you have the drug or acetylcholine has to occupy only the alpha subunit. How do they get attached to that alpha subunit? What is the mechanism? In other words, what is the structure activity relationship between a drug and methyl group receptor? Huh? How do they get attached only to the alpha subunit? Why don't they get attached to the beta and gamma? I think that will be explained well by showing this presentation. Okay, we go for that. So if you see the structures of acetylcholine, are you able to see the slides? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very okay. So if you see, first you commonly see the acetylcholine molecules structure. It has got a, nitrogen atom which is positively charged with 3 methyl groups attached. Okay, so this is the basic structure of your acetylcholine. And when you see the structure of succinylcholine, it is nothing but 2 molecules of acetylcholine attached to each other. The same thing you can see. This is the one half. This is one half of acetylcholine. So this is one half. This is another half. So succinylcholine is nothing but 2 molecules of acetylcholine combined together. When it comes to rocuronium, it also has got 2 molecules which are having this nitrogen atom here. And if you see the rocuronium, it also has got these 2 nitrogen molecules here. Okay. So these positively charged nitrogen molecules are the most important component of these drugs or the natural ligand, whatever you want to say. And they get attracted because the alpha subunits have a negative charge. So this positive charge is attracted towards the negative charge of the alpha subunits. That is why they go and get attached only to the alpha subunits and not to any other subunits of the acetylcholine receptor. Okay. So aminosteroid compounds contain an androstenedione skeleton in which acetylcholine-like moieties are introduced in the A ring and D ring. So this is the A ring, this is the D ring, and they tend to cause histamine release. Most depend on organ function for their excretion. Some undergo de-escalation in the liver, and de-escalated metabolites may possess neuromuscular blocking all properties also. And when you see the nicotinic cholinesterase transmitter, this is acetylcholine. Again, depolarizing is by succinylcholine, and atrazirium and rocuronium or rocuronium, they are all competitive non-depolarizing agents. And this is the 2 presentation, as you said. This is 10 milligram per ml vial. It comes in 10 ml or 5 ml vials. So the total amount is 50 milligram or 100 milligram in each vial. And it's a monoquaternary amine with a rapid onset, intermediate duration of action, 6 to 8 times less potent than rocuronium, which you mentioned. Intubating dose 0.6 per milligram per kg, satisfactory intubating conditions in 60 to 90 seconds. So if you are doing an elective case where there is no urgency, you can just go for 0.6 milligram per kg, wait for 1 minute to 1.5 minutes, and then have a sufficient relaxation, just like succinylcholine for intubation. But on the contrary, if you want to do it for a rapid sequence induction, you have to increase the dose to 1 to 1.2 milligram. You have to give almost double the dose to produce relaxation equal to succinylcholine if you are going to use it for rapid sequence intubation. And it is more lipophilic than rocuronium, and most of the drug is taken up by liver and eliminated via the bile. And only metabolite which is detected in the plasma is the 17-acetyl rocuronium, and it is 20 times less potent than the parent drug, so that is not likely to cause any neuromuscular blockade. Rocuronium, no direct sympathomimetic effects, but in high doses has mild vagolytic property, and it may cause anaphylactoid reactions than pancuronium and rocuronium. And the dosing of stochomedaz is based on the depth of neuromuscular blockade. If there are no twitches for train of 4, as you will see in the as soon after intubation, a paralyzing dose for intubation, then the reversal dose is 16 milligram per kg. And if there is no twitches in the train of 4, but 1 or 2 PTC responses, then the dose is 4 milligram per kg. And if there are all the 4 twitches present in train of 4, 2 milligram per kg dose can be given. Okay, so these are the 3 different dosages which you have to remember. and for 4 milligram, it is a PTC count and not the train of 4. So I wrongly mentioned two PTC count and not two TOF counts. So these are all the points I think you have to remember with regard to Rocuronium. Okay. Right.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions from the students? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Anybody who can share or contribute to any points which they have read and we have left out, you can definitely come out and add to the answers.
Sir, good evening, sir. Sir,
They can put it up in the chat box also, sir. They can put up in the chat box or they can communicate to us.
Somebody is trying to say something.
Yeah,
Anybody?
Dr. Vikas.
Because